We welcome in the director of Sunset Stations out there in Las Vegas, Chuck Esposito. Chuck, let's talk about what everybody's been waiting for, seemingly forever. We're finally going to get it. The NBA Finals begin on Thursday. The early line, what do you have so far on that one out there in Golden State? We see that they're a big favorite to win the series. What about in Game 1?
They're a 7-point favorite, Dave, in Game 1. In the series, they opened a little over a 2-1 favorite. They were bet up to a 3-1 favorite, but it's started to come back down a little bit right now. So from our end of it, this is definitely the matchup that we wanted. The Cavs win last year. The Warriors win in 2015. Hoping it goes 7. I think we're going to have a record handle on this series. Just too bad there wasn't a game played over the holiday weekend, but we're excited for Thursday to get it kicked off, and you can just tell by the kind of hype and buzz and atmosphere in our books, this is going to be a huge event when these two teams kick off the series on Thursday night.
Chuck, you mentioned how it's kind of fluctuated. It got bet up to almost 3-1, then bet back down a little bit. Are you seeing the same type of movement on the individual game, at least in Game 1 so far, or does 7 feel like the right number?
Actually, no movement on Game 1. We opened at 7, and it sat there for several days now. We've seen absolutely nothing. I think you look at last year when the first 6 games were all complete blowouts, double-digit victories for each team that won. 2 of those games decided by 30 points or more. The only single-digit decision was Game 7. When Cleveland went into Golden State and won that game. But if you look back to 2015, it only went 6 games, but 4 of those 6 were single digits, and 2 of those games went into overtime. So I think you're going to have this year's series emulate or mirror a lot closer to 2015 than it did last year, although it was epic last year, and it went 7 games. Really only 1 game was good, and that was Game 7.
What about Steve Kerr's absence? Is that factored into this thing at all? Have you seen anybody kind of playing into that series line, at least, thinking that Steve Kerr won't be there?
I think it has to somewhat, although Golden State's walked through the playoffs. I mean, they're 12-0 in the playoffs. I mean, they've got an opportunity to maybe go 16-0 this year. The teams combined are 24-1 in the postseason, but it definitely factors in. I think Mike Brown's done a great job, but I'm sure you'd prefer to have Kerr there, but we'll see if he's back there after a game or 2. But it's definitely something to look at, and if for some reason Cleveland were to go in there and steal Game 1 or win one of the first 2 games, I think you start looking at it a little bit closer. I think the big piece for me is that Cleveland was just a so-so team on the road during the regular season. They were actually a game below 500. If you go back to the playoffs, they've won 9 straight road playoff games, but they haven't been good during the regular season. They're going to have to continue that road streak because we know they have to win at least 1 on the road. And you look at Golden State, who had the best road record in the NBA, they might be able to win a game in Cleveland. So Cleveland might have to win maybe multiple games here on the road to defend their title.
I cannot wait. I know we cannot wait for Game 1 to finally get underway on Thursday night. Chuck Esposito, check him out at Sunset Station in Las Vegas.